Now, joining us to discuss this further is investigative journalist Ben Swann. Ben, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, I want to mention in a previous interview here on RT America, you said that Epstein would not name names. What did you mean here?
Oh, the question I was asked was, if he really is an intelligence asset, will he get a chance to name names? I said he won't name names because he'll, essentially, paraphrasing here, be suicided before that happens. That was my belief 3 weeks ago, and sure enough, I'm not surprised at all to see that he has committed suicide in his jail cell, though, as John was pointing out, now the autopsy from the medical examiner is coming back inconclusive. That should be a pretty cut and dry autopsy to perform if someone actually committed suicide. You should be able to figure that out pretty quickly, especially if the death is by hanging, and yet it's now inconclusive.
Right, and officials are saying they need more information before determining a cause of death. Many people are finding that to be fishy. In John's report, we just heard, he mentioned that Attorney General Bill Barr assured victims in this case that the investigation will continue and that victims deserve justice. What's the reality of that, Ben? Will they really get any justice?
So I don't think they're going to see justice. First of all, with Epstein himself, one of the ways that justice a lot of people were hoping justice would be served is to not only see him go to prison for the rest of his life, but to also bring down these people that he seemed to be connected with on so many levels. I mean, Epstein has been referred to as a honeypot in many cases, an individual who tries to trap others and bring them into what he's doing. It seems like this was his full-time job, essentially, was to go around and to abuse these underage girls, but to also bring other people into it with him. He was never content doing this alone. And so, if those other people are not prosecuted, if those other people are not brought to justice, if Ghislaine Maxwell is not prosecuted, if these other people who are being named now or have been named in the past are not prosecuted, there is no justice there. And what I suspect is that a lot of people who are in power are hoping this can all be settled with civil lawsuits. The estate is still there, give them money, and hopefully everyone goes away. I think that's what they're hoping for.
All right, now, he was being held at a high-security facility in Manhattan.
Yes.
Ben, what can you tell us about the facility and the way it operates?
Well, look, that facility in particular is a facility where there has only been one suicide prior to Jeffrey Epstein. There's only been one suicide in its entire history, and it was an individual who was there on drug charges who hanged himself. But it's never happened since then. And this suicide watch thing actually is so important because under that scenario, there are so many protocols in place. A person cannot be without a cell inmate. That inmate has authority to call guards within a moment's notice. Every 15 minutes, a new guard has to rotate to go check on that individual. Epstein, we know, was taken off suicide watch, but no one seems to know why or even when. The jail administrator won't even say when this happened. When was he taken off suicide watch? And the other thing that happened when he was moved back to the special housing unit, the SHU there at that correctional facility, when that happened, the inmate, cellmate, that was with Epstein was transferred out of his cell. So he was literally transferred back to the special housing unit and then left without a cellmate. And then the guards didn't bother to check on him for the whole night. It is so far beyond even the term fishy that it's almost like if he were suicided, it's not even being hidden.
And you're right, Ben. They've mentioned that he was taken off of suicide watch in late July. Nothing specific was given there. And like you're saying, many people are questioning why the cellmate was moved out the day before this alleged suicide. And as we know, the FBI and the Justice Department's Inspector General's office is now investigating Epstein's apparent suicide. Why is this necessary here?
Well, I think it's necessary for the appearance that they are trying to get to the bottom of what actually happened here. But I don't think there's a lot of people, quite candidly, actually, who are very confident in the FBI or the DOJ to not be a completely politicized organization and to actually investigate what really happened. I just don't think that confidence is there right now. And we've gone through the last few years of people really seeing the DOJ and the FBI as less law enforcement, a more political arm. And because of Epstein's connection to powerful people on both sides of the political aisle, a sitting president, a former president, so many powerful people. I mean, does anyone really believe that there's going to be an up-and-up, honest and transparent investigation of what happened in the jail? I don't think most people are confident in that.
Ben, we have a little less than a minute left, and as you just mentioned, Epstein's connection to high-profile individuals. Let's talk about President Trump. After learning about Epstein's death, Trump retweeted a message from a conservative actor suggesting that Epstein's death might be tied to President Clinton. Trump and Epstein apparently had a friendship, so was this a smart move on his part?
Well, I think it was a very Trump-esque move to try to say, look, oh, Bill Clinton, I didn't say it, someone else said it, I just retweeted it. And yeah, you know how the Clintons make people disappear. But as you pointed out, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein was very connected with Trump. He was very connected with Clinton. Both of them took trips with him. Both of them had these pretty intense relationships with him, and Ghislaine Maxwell as well. This woman who, by the way, needs to be prosecuted at some point, because if all these women who have come forward have also pegged her to be a part of this, why have no charges been brought against her? The president did what he did because that's what he does. But I don't want to get distracted by the noise he makes. We need to be focused on the investigation and everyone involved, both sides of the aisle, no matter where they are, when they were involved. Those people need to be brought to justice, period.
Thank you so much, Ben. So many questions, so few answers. Hopefully we'll find out soon. Thanks so much.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.